Hey Mario, just wanted to check in, see if there are any injury updates on, I think Tyreek, Jakai, and Justice.
Tyreek looks good. Jakai looks good. Justice, we're going to have to wait a little bit more to get a final determination.
As a reminder, if you have a question, please use the hand raise function. Our next question for Coach Cristobal comes from David Wilson of the Miami Herald. David.
Hey, Mario. Sticking with the O line there, and I think you might have answered some of this on Monday, but the first three games of the season, it looked like such a strength for you guys, particularly the A&M game. You guys protected and run blocked really well. Obviously, just doesn't seem like it's been at the same level the last two games. Are there certain things that you have, a trend you have seen these last 2 weeks that you've been kind of trying to focus in on and pinpoint to get back to the level you were at early in the year?
Well, the combination of things, I think we're out of sync in the run game. And I think obviously we've got to always block better and use better and work at technique and fundamentals, especially when you're getting some of the +1 stuff we've been getting, an extra guy in the box, you're getting some pressure and some movement. And you got to get everybody in sync. It's tied into, your RPO game. Certainly, it's designed to put certain guys in conflict. And we've been out of sync, but I don't think anyone's in any way, shape, or form trying to deny the fact that we have to improve. We have to find different ways to move the football. I mean, we've run just about every scheme in the book, right? You've seen it inside zone, weak and strong. Same thing with the outside zone, the gap schemes, both power and counter and sweeps and whatnot. So, and then, looking at last game, the wide zone play was working. Some of the inside zone stuff was working. And then we got hot with the passing game and we stuck with it. So we're encouraged by some of the progress last game, certainly not the goal line stuff. That has to improve dramatically. But some of the other stuff, we feel like we have gained ground and trying to get back on track to run the ball to our standard.
Our next question for Coach Cristobal comes from Susan Miller-Degnan from the Miami Herald. Susan.
Hey, Mario. I want to know about James because we're going to talk, to James Williams. How do you think his progress has been? I know there have been high expectations for him. How do you think he's done this season? And also, I know you were talking about Cam Kinchens being young and he's quiet. They're totally different. But is James one of those young leaders?
I think both those guys have done really well. You're looking at two guys that are a year and 5 games into their careers. They're very, very young. And for guys at that stage in their careers to take on the roles that they have, in my opinion, that's really impressive. That's really hard to do. Not to mention that they play positions that require a lot of mental gymnastics at times. They got to line people up. They got to make sure that if something is not right, they got to make it right. And with that, again, that's balancing a lot when they're also playing on all special teams. So really proud of both those guys. They made a ton of progress. I think those other guys have done really well and they're coming along as well. I think Avante's trying to come along really well. He's got a really bright future. I think the same of Al Blades. Those guys have done some good things also. So all in all, Brian Balaam's another guy that stands out that has done some stuff. So all in all, I think that our safety group has really done a good job and going to keep getting better.
And Mario, I just wanted to follow with one thing. This matchup feels so different, this Virginia Tech one, than usual with both teams coming in with 3-game losing streaks. Just your thoughts on that, and also if you feel like your players are responding to your philosophy of the win the day, just win the day. How are they doing mentally?
I don't know how it feels for you, but it feels no different for me. That's a narrative that you could choose to write or not write. So I don't know. That really doesn't relate to my thinking. In terms of, I've never once said win the day, or never has it been part of our mantra. So I guess I defer to saying, from a question standpoint, it doesn't really apply to what we do or what we say or what we work at here at Miami.
We'll do a few more for Coach Cristobal. Our next question comes from Manny Navarro of The Athletic. Manny.
Hey, Mario. Curious, this is the second road game. You guys obviously played in a really loud environment at Texas A&M the previous time, and it felt like you handled it really well. There were no, or not many anyway, that I remember, procedure penalties, guys jumping offside, etc. just curious how you guys prepare. Obviously, I know you probably pump a bunch of noise into practice, but just to prepare for environments like this, I know it's a sellout crowd for them.
Well, anytime you're in an environment like this, you practice with noise. And even sometimes when you're not playing in an environment like this, you still practice anyway. So it's second nature by the time you get to it. They've got a great atmosphere, a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm. They play great at home. Their defense caused a lot of issues and turnovers. Their special teams set them up with great field position, and their offense is coming off one of their best games. So great opportunity, great environment. Our players are, I think, maybe 20% of this organization has actually been to Blacksburg and understands the magnitude of their environment and how awesome it is. And the rest have been informed, so they understand that the way we prepare always relates to the opponent and the environment. And so far, it's been a great week of practice.
We'll wrap up with Coach Cristobal with David Lake. David?
Coach, I just want to ask you real quick, is there a status update on Zion Nelson?
There is none at the moment. Zion is working hard to try to get back on the field as soon as he can. Right now, it's a game day decision.